Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what is happening in California. What is this SB 403? Is this a direct attack on Hinduphobia by using caste? And what are the repercussions of this? And what is being planned in India for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections? That part I'll come to in just a little bit. But first, I want to try to kind of get into the mind of the Indian American voter who voted for Aisha Wahab. So Aisha Wahab is an Afghan-American person who has successfully won the state Senate seat. The race was between her and another candidate called Lily May, Lilymei, who is currently the mayor of Fremont. She had run for the state senator post and she was not successful. Why was she not successful? Till the very end of the run-up to the elections, she was the favored candidate. Most Indian Americans were going to vote for her. Yet they, at the very last minute, changed their mind and voted for Aisha Wahab. What was it that happened that made them rethink their vote? Well, Lily May was accused of trying to seduce a person who was in a slightly different council. I'll give you the links in the description section. You can go and look at the data. And evidently, there was a lot of conversations back and forth about how she had used her office and she was basically trying to use herself to try and get further. And this alone, it is believed, derailed her candidacy. So on the one side, you have Lily May being accused of inappropriate behavior to try and further her agenda. Who was she also associated with? Can we have a picture, please? She was also associated with this person on the right. Fang is on the left of the picture. Right is, her name is Fang. She was proven to be a Chinese spy. Fang has had illicit relationships with several politicians from not only the Bay Area, but also across the United States. Many people have fallen to her charms. They've slept with her. There has been video evidence collected. The FBI had confronted some of these politicians with the evidence and they had to essentially back out. Well, there's one guy who has managed to brazen it out and still continues to be a congressman. His name is Eric Swalwell. Swalwell was also caught in a relationship with her. This I'm talking about 2020, sometime like that. And when the FBI was about to close in on Fang, that's the name of the spy, about to close in on Fang, she disappeared. We still don't know where she is today. In fact, I have explained this in a fictional form in my book, Who Painted My State Purple. If you read that book, you'll understand the background of what really happened in that case. Anyway, so now what have the Indian voters done? They have traded somebody who has had questionable relationships for somebody who now allegedly has terrorist links. Aisha Wahab's candidacy, you have to go back and see who's supporting it. So did the Indian American voter do his or her homework before doing this? You see, this is the problem. This is not just a problem for Indian American voter. It's a problem for all voters. You need to start spending more time looking at a person's background, credibility, and be absolutely sure that you are choosing the best person for the job. Don't look at the party affiliation. Sometimes that is not what you should be looking at. Today's day and age, you have narratives, fake narratives being peddled. You also have the truth getting buried because the people who are actually controlling the media have this thing called as cancel culture, that anybody who doesn't agree or toe their line, they make sure that the other person's voice is completely quashed. I mean, I'm still saying that even though I have a verified account, I still don't get all my tweets out. Many of you do follow me, don't get my tweets. And I've given up trying to explain, even though Elon Musk is supposed to be the new savior, nothing seems to happen personally at my level. I mean, I still have a challenge of getting things across. In fact, I'm one of the very few who doesn't even talk about anything other than my own work. Whether it's I only tweet about PGurus articles or I tweet about the YouTube videos that I'm putting out. So if that is itself considered, shadow ban worthy, I don't know what else is. It's not like I'm trying to take pot shots at somebody. I'm not basing my arguments on lies. Still, it happens. Anyway, I'm just trying to give you this as an example of how bad things are. Now, so let's get back to Swalwell. This controversy broke out. Swalwell did not deny or admit to his relationship with Fang Fang. By that time, Fang Fang had already fled the country. We had an Indian American contesting against Swalwell in that particular seat. Unfortunately, she lost. I, in fact, even had interviewed her in one of my videos. Now, the problem is, as soon as he got back into Washington, D.C., Nancy Pelosi, the then speaker, appointed him back in the Homeland Security panel. Imagine, here is a person who's more or less admitted that he slept with a spy. And not only that, the FBI actually briefed Nancy Pelosi before she appointed him again about the kind of information that was shared by Swalwell to this lady. Okay, so this kind of stuff was still overlooked, and he once again became a member of the Homeland Security. I'm not sure under the Republican-controlled Congress whether he continues to be a member of the Homeland Security or not, but it tells you that America, just as other democracies, has completely gotten corrupted. It's corrupt to the core. It is really, really sad that we are forced to elect some people with dubious reputations. And these dubious people are using other methods to continue to get re-elected by admitting illegals without checking for their backgrounds or whether to see if they have COVID or not. So the US is going through a lot of pain. I'm afraid we are going down on a slippery slope. This needs to be arrested, but that's not the point for today. My point today is that Hinduphobia is now being targeted by this bill SB 403. Now you might ask me, how is California related to 2024 India elections? Now I want to come to that point. I'll just take a few more minutes and then I'll throw open the floor for questions. Nitish Kumar, what did he say about 6 or 7 months ago? He said, in the next census, we want caste to be included. Guess what? Now, if rumors are to be believed, he is in Delhi. He's trying to become the consensus opposition candidate for Prime Minister. And evidently, it doesn't take much for Rahul Gandhi to get convinced. He has convinced Rahul Gandhi that we shall make caste census as an issue for 2024. And they'll construct a narrative around that. Oh dear, XYZ people, the truth is that you are supposed to get this much percentage, but only you are getting this much percentage. And who is it to blame? Modi. For anything and everything, they're going to take pot shots at Modi. So this Hinduphobia SB 403 bill, using caste as a weapon, is actually aimed at making that an issue in 2024 in Lok Sabha elections. So voters, please, you have to educate yourself more, read more, question more, try to make sure that your vote counts. And I don't know what's going to happen on the 18th, whether the SB 403 bill is going to go past the next hurdle. Certainly it will face legal challenge, but that's a long way away. Right now, this whole thing is being made an issue, not in my opinion to affect people here, but to go and do something else in India. Not only that, Wahab fully knows that Cisco case, the California Rights Department has Civil Rights Department, that CRD, that they have already withdrawn the case. She knows this, yet she has not withdrawn the SB 403 bill. Not only that, she has been very partial in granting audiences. She's apparently she has no clue of what Sanatana Dharma is. And if you are an Afghan-American State Senator, should you not be furthering the cause of the poor women in Afghanistan who are being ordered off schools and colleges? Isn't that a much more serious issue? Isn't that something that would also gain traction? Why is she working on this? Also, there are people like Hazaras who have come on our channel. Hazaras are Muslims, very, very tolerant Muslims who are being persecuted in Afghanistan. Did she have a word to say about that? See, these are all telling you. So what has the Indian American voter of Fremont done? They have traded a spy for a terrorist. I'm not saying, this is not to say the individuals are themselves that, but I'm trying to say your bargain, you've got a bad bargain. and you've gone and voted for him. Now you have to do, what are the options that they have? Well, they can definitely try and recall Aisha Wahab, but that's a long shot. That's going to take a lot of time, signatures, convincing. The point now is, how does one stop SB 403? And there are lots of petitions being shared with senators. I'm told some heavyweights, such as a certain lady who has lost the case in the Swiss court discrimination case. In fact, it is her report that was used as a basis by the CRD, which fell flat. Essentially, all the narratives, whether it is Seattle, whether it is Toronto, or any other, California State University, everything is now fallen flat. None of them have any basis now. And still people are continuing. So what are they relying on? Somehow they are believing that a lie told 1,000 times over becomes the truth. This is the crux of what we are facing today. So I hope that things change for the better, because Hindu Americans form 1% of US population, and they contribute 6% of the tax base of the United States. You are one of the more well-off communities, guys. Speak up. It's not I, me, myself. I have nothing to lose here, but yet I am doing it because I see a gross injustice being done. That's why I'm raising my voice. I want each and every one of you to raise yours too. With this, I'll stop this and I'll take some questions. Thank you. Rahul Rathod has a question. Even though many Hindus are affluent and hold power in West, why they don't do anything against Hinduphobia? Even people from Pak, Afghanistan, Sudan, Somalia, etc. assert themselves in the West. See, most of the people who are getting elected now, they are not getting elected because of their being politically active. There is an agenda behind it, and they are told what they need to do, what statements to make, what tweets to put out. So, and even their speeches are prepared even when they are facing the public. I mean, in other words, they won't stand the scrutiny. For example, one Hindu American asked Aisha Wahab how much she knows about Sanatana Dharma. Zero. Nothing. Zero. And yet you have elected her as a state senator. And now she's, moving a motion against you. What are they confident? They are confident that somehow the middle will still see the way clear through to vote her again and again. See, these are all bad choices that we made. Unfortunately, she has been found out fairly early on, but let us hope that course correction happens and happens soon. You should never feel that, oh, I'm Hindu and I should not, I should downplay myself. We have to fight for it. We should be proud of being a Hindu. What is wrong in that? Whatever Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma is the one religion, one dharma that can save this planet. The way it is careening towards disaster today, this is the only thing that can save the planet. So I hope that at least this is a lesson and Hindus rise up and be proud of who we are, of what our heritage is. Thank you. Uday wants to know, Dalit Muslim Dr. Abdus Salam of Pakistan dedicated his Nobel Prize in Physics to his Brahmin teacher Anilendra Ganguly. But why Brahmins are being targeted in West? Also, no caste issue in Indian IT. Good question, Uday. It's not only Abdus Salam. Dr. Abdul Kalam, APJ Abdul Kalam, he also said that it was for his Brahmin teacher who saw the potential in him, and he encouraged him to go higher, aim higher and higher. In fact, Baba Sahib Ambedkar name was given to him by his Brahmin teacher, who said that given the political environment in India, if you use your original last name, which was basically his caste name, you will be shunned. So please use my name. And he made sure that the records reflected that Ambedkar was his last name. And that is how he could get into scholarships. Because you have a lot of these inbuilt biases that were driven by the British in the 200 years that they were already in power. So from 1700 onwards, they pretty much started controlling many places. So that, that's what carried his growth. In fact, many people will try to hide this information. Baba Sahib Ambedkar's second wife was a Brahmin, Dr. Sarita. So, for any Dalit to say that Brahmins were the ones who were behind the untouchability, look, the facts state otherwise. But you don't want to admit that because you have a narrative. You've been fed on a narrative without checking You have decided that this is what is right and this is what is wrong. As to why Brahmins get targeted, it is because of the way the society had evolved. The Brahmins were supposed to be the ones who were the knowledge keepers. And in exchange for that, they were told you should not have any material property. You should not seek any material property. In fact, there are instances where the Brahmin would go around the village seeking food in the morning. They would get rice, they would get pulses, then using that only they would make their meal. And after, during the day, they would teach to the students who wanted to learn. This was what the Gurukul was. I mean, I'm not saying Brahmin by birth. The Gurukul had teachers who were identified based on their talent. You had the setup, but Macaulay wanted people to be brown outside and white inside, and he completely made sure by 1830 that the Gurukul system was completely disbanded, and it affected the Brahmins the most because they never had any land, they never had any property. You see, so this victimization that took place at the hands of the British, the Brahmins didn't come and complain about it. They said, we will find a way to survive and thrive. So whatever it is, this is the truth, guys. I mean, you can go back and read Dharampal's A Beautiful Tree to understand how things were prior to Mr. Macaulay putting his foot in and completely turning the Indian education system upside down. That is, in my opinion, that was one of the most significant reasons why we have all these divisions in society. I mean, think about it. Who are the people who are saying that caste discrimination happens? Our own. Tenmuri Soundararajan is an Indian-American extract. But she doesn't understand what she's talking about. There are words, Kshama Sawant, Ajanta Subramaniam, there, Sunita Vishwanath, all of them. Many of them are born in India. Pramila Jayapal. So why do you do this? I mean, a few votes is going to get you re-elected, but aren't you mortgaging your soul? Don't you know that what you are peddling day in and day out is a lie? How can they sleep at night? I don't know. Next question, please. Kanda Batata wants to know, will workplaces in the future ask about a job applicant's caste like they ask about race, disability, and gender? Well, it's actually going to be more than that, Kanda Batata. What will happen is, if Indians continue to keep their Hindu names abroad, okay, you might not even be considered for a job, because they'll immediately say, HR will say, I have a lot of work to do. I have to ask this person what that person's caste is, and so essentially you will start getting shunned from the workplace. Is that what the people want who are behind this? I don't know, but I'm thinking that is one of the main reasons why this is being done. Guts the Black Swordsman. Why do a lot of these Indian Americans become super woke and left-leaning despite being treated like trash by the left? Are the Republicans that bad, or Abhijeet right about the diaspora? Abhijeet tends to take a very extremist view. He has not lived in the United States. You have to take whatever Abhijeet says with a pinch of salt, especially when I start trying to rebut him on some of these things. It's okay. We let it go with banter, but that's not true. Many Indian Americans are very dharmic. They do teach their children the rights and wrongs. There's an excellent mission called Chinmaya Mission that inculcates children from a very young age a lot of the values. It happens, and it's quite prevalent. It's not just one group, one city, one place. It is quite prevalent. It is happening. Although what happens is, when the children start interacting more and more, for example, when they go to universities for their undergrad, that's when you get hit with a barrage of all this stuff. Like somebody will put up an Indian American to say that Holi is an upper caste festival. And this is again a false narrative. But the children usually tend to avoid, because that's what we did. Hindu Americans tend to avoid. Most of the time, Hindus migrated when there was acts of violence against them. If the Hindus had stood their ground in Pakistan and said that nothing doing, we're not going anywhere, we're going to fight ourselves, things could have been different, but they didn't. Most of them just came with their clothes into India. Same happened in Bengal also. And for my, I can't imagine why the Congress didn't insist on first making sure Suravardi was held accountable for allowing that direct action day riots to spread in Kolkata. The British did nothing. Why didn't the Congress say that, look, goddammit, this guy needs to be punished? At that point of time, I believe it was Nehru, who was the prime minister, there was a government that was in place. Why didn't he crack the whip? I don't know why it didn't happen. It should have been done, because that was the first test as what a prime minister faces day in and day out. And I think he miserably failed in that. Next question, please. You constantly say, Mr. Lee wants to know, you constantly say that USA is a meritocracy. Is this really true with the illegals entering the diversity visa program, chain migration, 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪𝙥𝙆 soli and anchor babies? Look, this is just a small minority, maybe 8 to 9%, maybe. That's big numbers though, because that can sway votes. Ilhan Omar is secure in the know, in the knowledge that she has a captive audience who will keep voting for her. And as she keeps returning to the Congress, she'll become more and more senior. She'll start chairing some important panels, and who knows what she's going to come up with. This is the investment they made. They look at some of the most radical-minded people and make them the candidates, and they make sure the demography gets adjusted to ensure that this person keeps getting elected. So this is a problem. This is but the population of America is not as badly affected as, for example, United Kingdom. And you can see in Sweden, United Kingdom, Germany, they are cracking down. How hard they are going to crack down, how effective is that crackdown going to be, only time will tell. But they do see that their house is on fire. What I am trying to do is to prevent United States from becoming the same. US continues to be a meritocracy. The hire and fire policies of corporations are very liberal. If the corporation feels that you are not doing the job they want you to do, they can fire you. There's nothing you can do about it. Even in a liberal state like New York or California, if your employer fires you, you're done. History, 1 month salary, 2 month salary, something like that, and you're done. So that is essentially meritocracy according to the employer. He thinks that you're not doing the job that you are cut out for, or you've been identified for. So meritocracy is there. It will continue to be there. It's in the mindset. Just like woke has a certain mindset, the people who have made this country the great country that it is also have a mindset. They have the value system that is built in from a very young age. This is going to change. It just takes some time. Shreyasta Samal. Hi, Shreyasta. It's true that there is Hinduphobia. I see it in Germany too. It's there everywhere. Because one side is going all out. And what are the Hindus doing? They're just concentrating on their own careers, their family, their growth path, and their future. You need to put your head up and see what kind of lies are being peddled around about you. That's why I keep saying that the Hindus must be proud of what they are, and they have to start hitting back. If one person says one thing, 10 people should come back and rebut it with facts. Then only they'll keep quiet. Look at what has happened with Ilhan Omar. She said that lie about 200 million Muslims are about to be genocided. We have been hitting back so hard. Where did she go? Her voice is lost. And we are challenging every Indian American politician to, explain what they are talking about India. So this is a long process. It doesn't stop one day. And it's not one person. Many people have to start asking these questions. That's when the reality that, oops, there are some things that we are not doing right, that we are probably ignoring the real sentiments, that once they get that fear, they will not get elected. That's when reality will set in. Lakshmanan KI wants to know, if DT gets acquitted, then is he the right choice? Well, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent observer, Lakshmanan. It is the Republican Party that will choose its candidate. Certainly, they have some very rich choices right now. We have to wait and see how this plays out. So, we'll see. Mangat Ranga wants to know, Namaskaram, sir. Generally, the seculars and anti-Hindus are Hindus themselves. There is a troubling situation. Why is that so? And what can be done to change it? Ranga, when we were growing up, I don't know, I think you're my age. How many times have we tried to act over secular because we felt that we should not show our Hindutva? For example, you do puja at home, you wear vibhuti. When you step out, you do all this stuff, wipe it out, and then go. How many times have you done that? Or have you done that? So outside of Tamil Nadu, where people still, wear vibhutis and stuff, I have not seen display of particular religion outside of Tamil Nadu. I've seen, okay, Kerala also and Karnataka too, to some extent, but Andhra Pradesh, Hyderabad, I didn't see much of it. I could be wrong, and certainly not in places like Mumbai or Delhi, big cities. So that's what happened. We were somehow becoming apologetic about our religion. What is there to be apologetic about? That was because we didn't have time to really understand it, read it properly. The other side is fed on this. In fact, I'm telling you today on record, the Pakistani Indian Muslim Americans, they are still trying to become much more radicalized even inside their homes. This is what I'm hearing. You will have the odd Asra Nomanis, but those are an exception, not the rule. She talked to us about what happened when she objected to what was going on about the wokeism in her own community, how many people were beginning to avoid her. That interview is there with Vibhuti Jha. Do watch it on PGurus. That will give you an idea about how radicalized some religions have become in here. And it is wrong. It is actually a big disservice to their own community. But they want to persist in doing that. How are things going to change? I'll tell you how things are going to change a little bit later. Let's go to the next question. Rahul Kumar Abhishek, I am frustrated now. Opposition and media are making Atiq Ahmad a hero. Normal Muslims are supporting Atiq like hero. What to do, sir? Rahul, you have to stand. You have to show what has happened. Tomorrow, I'm hoping to have Dr. Vikram Singh, a DGP of UP, and he's going to talk about the rise and fall of Atiq Ahmad on PGurus at 8:30 a.m. IST. Do tune in. That is about 20 hours from now, something like that. And we are going to walk through the entire history of what this guy did, because unless you know what this person was capable of, it is a horror story. I mean, people will say whatever they want to. The more important thing is that you have to stick to the truth, and you have to keep raising the facts, showing the merit to some of them who are lying. Magnet Ranga, again, a serious campaign is necessary to publicize the truth about Sanatana Dharma. Many Hindu religious leaders have foreign disciples. How can Sanatana Dharma be promoted better? Well, don't be apologetic. If there is a festival at home, you did puja, wear the bindi, wear the tilak, wear the to work. In Silicon Valley, at least on the festival days, a lot of people wear Indian clothing. That's not unusual. But there is nothing that prevents you from wearing it all the time. I always go like this. I wear this jacket and travel now. But that is me. And maybe somebody says, oh yeah, you got your logo, so you are advertising. Look, logo or no logo, they recognize me from my voice. They recognize me from my face. I don't have to wear my logo all the time to be recognized. My point here is I'm daring to be Hindu. And I'm completely unapologetic. In fact, I'm proud to be a Hindu. Let me say it that way. It'll grow. DN wants to know, sir, how do we support this movement that you mentioned? The movement has already put down roots, and many of our own children think woke now. Somehow we miss that part of their mindset change, because once you put them in college, the 4 years that goes by, it goes by very fast. You are busy making sure that their fees and other things are taken care of. You don't have time to look at what exactly are they learning. And then when they come home for break, like 4 days, 5 days, they'll already have 100 things to do. So it's really, you don't get a chance to understand that mindset transformation that is happening. I'm hoping that new parents will start actively taking interest in what their children are doing. Talk to them periodically, once a week or whatever it is, to understand that, okay, this is what is going to happen, especially when there is a narrative being built up. We now know the toolkit syndrome, the toolkit mechanism. This is what always starts it. So at least go and tell, look, this is what you're going to be told. This is the truth. Tell them 5 minutes it takes. It's all it takes. You can use some of our videos and say, PGurus, just watch this thing. This is the truth. So that way, the children are better able to defend themselves. And this is becoming another challenge for many children who are going to undergrad schools or graduate schools. They are being attacked for being a Hindu. That we have to arm them with data and facts. And they have to give it back. Do not be afraid. You have to give it back. Vamsi Krishna wants to know, bill was planned for a long time with backers with funds. Do you think this is the start for something more worse to come by? They would have anticipated this and have another plan. Your views. Vamsi, the thing is, there is another alternative narrative coming up. You have to wait and see how the Hindu organizations respond back to this. I'm not going to reveal it here. And just wait and see. Once the community is mobilized, believe me, this will just vanish. And it takes a little bit of time and planning, like you said. This wasn't like planned in a day, but they were really hoping that that 𝙒𝙗𝘃𝗀 case would be won by the California Civil Rights Department. Unfortunately for them, the litigators got fired. One got fired, the other one resigned. You can watch my hangout with Richa Gautam that aired yesterday to get more details about how many mistakes were there. So we have to keep back. That's what I'm saying. Go back with facts and tell them what things are. Many people are reasonable. It's just that 10 times the other side is meeting with lies. At least you have to make the effort to go 2 times. They keep saying, hey, look, if they are so wrong, how come I never hear from any Hindus that this is all wrong? So this is where we are remiss. This is where we are not doing our job. And that is changing, but it needs to change much, much faster, I'm hoping. Next. Partha wants to know, why don't you collaborate with YouTube channels in US to spread awareness of American Indians also being affected by hocus pocus left liberal logic? Partha, please show me a couple more channels like PGurus. I'd be happy to. We kind of got the early start. Rajiv Malhotra ji is another YouTube channel, but he has his own mission. He's primarily an author, and his YouTube channel is used to spread that message. I went at it the other way. I was primarily a commentator, and now I'm becoming more and more of an author. So 2 different ways. Yes, we are working. We do coordinate. I bring in everybody who I think can add to this discussion, can contribute to this discussion. In fact, we have also got young hosts now who are also doing their bit on PGurus. So do encourage us by becoming subscribers. Do recommend us to your friends and family. Tell them, hey, let's subscribe and just see what you think of this. Especially when the children are really facing a tough time at school. That's when you want to really step up and say, have you looked at this video? And we have a lot of documented keywords there, so you can easily go to PGurus channel and you can find the answer, the right video for what you are looking for. Shreyasta Samal, sir, if I raise my voice regarding uniting Hindus, there's just resistance. There needs to be a global movement for Hindus to unite and join. Yes, that is true. It's not an easy battle, but you have to stay at it. This is the conviction of your beliefs. How do you think Swami Vivekananda 100 years ago came and addressed this world religion conference and he made such a lasting impact, right? Those days there was no TV, there was no social media, there was no nothing. And yet everybody in the world heard him. So it is possible. It's just that you need to work at it, be at it, and be more forceful and make sure that your message resonates with them. And that takes a little bit of tweaking. And that's where our individual abilities come to the fore. But be at it. Don't give up. YouTube user, isn't it time to return to India and contribute knowledge and experience to improve our education system here? Actually, today with the technology, you don't need to physically be in India to do what needs to be done. And there are lots of things that you can learn over internet. I encourage anybody who has access to internet to go and get the highest bandwidth possible. The 1,000 rupees a month that you might pay as fees is worth its weight in gold. And make sure you get a good computer so you can log in on internet to find the answers that you're seeking for. Magnet Ranga, I'm a proud Hindu, sir. I'm right now in US and I wear a kumkum and vibhuti here too. I came here with a tilak on my forehead. Bravo. Way to go, Magnet Ranga. Ramesh Babu wants to know, why so much aversion by political parties against Hindu even though they are Hindus? You're talking about India, I think, because US, they don't really shun you away for Hindus. In fact, they love us because all Indian Americans ask for from their congressman / senator / presidential candidate is a picture in exchange for $5,000, $10,000, whatever. $3,300 per person is the maximum you can donate. But then you can, if you have a family of 4, you can, 3,300 times 4, that's $12,000, $15,000. It's a big amount of money. But if you just have your picture taken with them and then you hang it in your drawing room, that's not enough. You have to demand justice. You have to say, well, I'll give you the money provided you do this for me. If you don't do that, I'm not going to give you the money. I'll give it to the person who's going to do it for me. Start demanding answers and start demanding action. They will. All right. I think that's all we have for today. Please do share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. And this is a war. This is just the beginning. We are just putting down lines, finding out what we need to do and what not to do. And unfortunately for us, there are many units have become self-sufficient now. Money is not a problem for them, and they don't have any work to do. This is all they indulge in day in and day out. You and I have a job to do, and we are completely consumed with this in our spare time. So we need to start allocating more time. In the meanwhile, please follow us on Twitter at PGurus1 and at Sree Iyer I, and because I'm trying to see if many of you join up to see if I can get out of the shadow ban mess that both these handles are. And I've been trying to flag it to Elon Musk that, look, what is it that we have done wrong? Give us that shadow ban tool so we can find out where we went wrong. At least I'll know where I went wrong. That was supposed to have been given online, that anybody could go to a link, enter your handle, and it will tell you this, and you fix these things and you will become better. I haven't heard that come out again. I don't know what the problem is, but let's hope that this thing happens soon. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Namaskar.